Walking into a high-stakes media interview unprepared is career suicide. Charisma, intelligence, and boardroom presence do not save you under the hot lights and sharp questions of the media. Only preparation does. If you gamble on winging it, you risk stumbling, damaging your credibility, and dragging your company's reputation through the mud in a matter of minutes. I'm KATHRYN Janicek. I coach leaders at Fortune 500 companies so they show up as magnetic and inspirational to lead their teams and grow their companies. I also have 3 Emmys in television, so I know exactly how journalists think and may get you to say something you might regret. I help people master high-pressure situations, whether that's on camera with reporters, on stages in front of their teams, investors, and the board. You might not even watch the news, but to the audience that you're trying to reach, if you're in the media, you're considered an expert. We're hired by heads of communications and marketing departments who say, our CEO thinks they can handle any interview, but I'm terrified that they're going to say something that will destroy our reputation. This is why companies hire us. We give the leadership team the skills to navigate questions, stay on message, and turn every interview into a win for their company. We deliver the training that prevents those career-ending sound bites that go viral. And we're always told by the CEO after the training, hey, I had no idea how dangerous that could have been. No one wants to tell the CEO they're not ready. And we come in and we protect them. Here's how to master the media. And we're talking about podcasts, interviews with newspapers, any digital online article, any radio, anything. It's all media when we're talking about this. First, master your message. Before any high-stakes interview, you need exactly 3 key messages. Not 5, not 10, you need 3. These are your non-negotiables that you're gonna weave into every answer, no matter what they ask. This is like the marketing of your company. What are the 3 things you want every person to know when they hear you or when they read what you said? Write those messages down. Write those key messages down. Memorize them. Practice pivoting back to them from any question that you might get. There's gonna be questions that you just can't answer. You don't want to answer, that they might be a little hostile. They might be things that your lawyers don't want you to talk about. There may be things that you can't talk about until your IPO. Whatever it is, you've got to practice pivoting back to the messages that you came here to talk about. Your messaging, your marketing, whatever it is that you wanna stick with that audience. If you can't remember your 3 key messages under pressure, you're already losing. So you've really got to focus on memorizing those and practicing a lot. Let me give you an example. I was coaching the founder of a kid snack food line. So something that you would buy at Target, Walmart, Whole Foods.
Are those microwave dinners any good?
I don't know.
I'll give them a whirl.
And we were focusing on those 3 key messages, the marketing, the messages that he needed to get across to sell the product that parents would remember and they would go, this is a good product for my child. So we were focusing on the neurological benefits and all these great things that are in this food that he has added that make kids smarter. And we were focusing on these 3 key messages. And he was sometimes dripping in, talking about what the company used to be called. It's super confusing to the audience. The audience needs to hear one thing, and that's the name of the company and to go buy it. So when he started talking about other companies that he created and how it all wove into the story, I gave him the advice to only say the name of the current company and focus on that so people would remember that company. And that's the point. You don't want to confuse the audience. You want to focus on 3 key messages so they go use your service or buy the product, period. By the way, if you want a list of all the things you need to remember before you go into a media interview or an online meeting or anything where you're on camera, there's a link in the description below. Click on it and get that free PDF. Tip number 2, anticipate the attack. Journalists are doing their job, and sometimes that means making you look bad for a story. Most times this does not happen. The majority of times they're doing a story, it's gonna turn out just fine. But sometimes we have a story or a company that something's happened, and the journalist is looking to out the company, out the CEO for some bad behavior. Make sure that you list every possible gotcha question that they could throw at you. Some old lawsuit, the layoffs that are coming up that they have heard about. You didn't even think the journalist had heard about it, but they know.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Pat Fredo. I'm a reporter with the Oregonian. I'm sure you're buried in all this by now, but I wanted to get your side on the Christian Longo story.
The controversy from 5 years ago, everything. And then craft short, honest responses that acknowledge the question, but then pivot back to your 3 key messages. Super, super important there. So again, practice every single question you might get, and then teach yourself how to pivot, bridge back to one of your 3 key messages. Something really important to remember about getting these 3 key messages and answering questions you might get. You're not allowed to say no comment. I'm sorry, if you watch this video, I need to protect you. There's no such thing as no comment. You're not allowed to use it. If you're being coached by me right now, you are not allowed to say the words no comment. Let me tell you a story. When I was a producer in Detroit, I worked for the Fox station there, and we would commonly look for city workers who were not doing their job. They were doing things that they shouldn't be doing, smoking pot in the water truck, whatever it is. But they were supposed to be doing a certain job and they were not doing it. And our job was to go and catch them not doing their job on the taxpayer dollar. There were also other stories where doctors may have done something wrong, or they were being accused currently of doing something wrong. And there was one specific story that I will never forget. A doctor was accused of hurting a patient. And of course, at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all the media got together right outside of his office, ready for him to come out of his office. He should have known. He should have known they were outside, and he should have known how to answer the question, "Hey, did you do it? Hey, did you do it?" Parent is saying, "Did you do that?" All the mics were thrown in his face as soon as he walked out of his office. What did he do? He immediately put his hand in front of the camera and he said, "No comment! No comment!" What did that look like when it aired at 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 5 the next morning, 6 the next morning, and at noon the next day? It looked like he did it. He's guilty. In the court of public opinion, he did the thing he is accused of. And he may not be guilty, but forever that image will be implanted in people's brains in that area, just forever. So please never say no comment. It makes you look guilty of everything. Know where to bridge and pivot. Have those 3 key messages and pivot. Number 3, practice under pressure. Leaders, you are so busy doing the job, creating the product, running the business. You sometimes dismiss talking to the media because you don't pay any attention to it yourself. You don't realize how hard the media or podcast interview will actually be. This is not easy. Do not, and I repeat, do not think that you can just review your talking points in the car on the way or on your computer right before you go online and get interviewed or you're on that podcast. You need to rehearse out loud with someone playing maybe an aggressive interviewer or ask you questions that might come up.
Hi, Sheriff, can I get a statement?
Have them interrupt you, challenge you, ask follow-up questions, record it, watch it back. If you stumble during practice, you're gonna crash and burn when it's live and the stakes are real. This transformation is going to help you show more credibility, make more money, scale your company, move stock prices, and be a more influential and magnetic leader. Great. Now you're not gonna get blindsided in your next media interview. In this next video, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know before you get on stage to speak in a town hall, a manager's meeting, those big sales meetings, on a panel, keynote, or in front of your entire company. From the microphones to where to look and how people actually introduce you, I've got you covered. I'm gonna see you over there.